Presentación de la prueba final para damas plataforma. Vamos a recibir a las clavadistas con un fuerte aplauso. Nuevamente a estas clavadistas un fuerte aplauso. Vamos a desearles la mejor de las suertes y que gane la mejor. Vamos a esperar solamente un par de minutos a que las clavadistas realicen sus últimos ejercicios de calentamiento y reciban las últimas instrucciones por parte de sus entrenadores. Vamos a aprovechar este momento para recordarles nuevamente que...
Hello and welcome back to Monterrey, Mexico, and the final day of the 2014 FINA NVC Diving World Series. The best divers in the world have had a hectic schedule as the series has travelled the globe. Starting back in Beijing, our tour moved to Dubai, London, Moscow and Windsor in Canada. Today we will crown our 2014 overall champions, but before that we have a big day of competition as we scale the heights of the platform for the women's and men's individual platform finals. Well, semi-finals this morning with good results for Sasha Klein of Germany and Kui Bu of China. They won their events with our overall leader of the series, Victor Minibaya, finishing behind Klein, failing to reach 500 points. Tom Daly also had a good showing in the morning session, but still finished second to Kui Bu, more than 50 points off the pace. On the women's side, Liu Huixia will be looking to wrap up the overall series. She has picked up 3 gold medals from the series with wins in Beijing, Dubai and Moscow. Last week in Canada she took silver behind the magical Chen Rulin. Malaysia's Pendelella Rinong has also had a fantastic series and will be looking to finish strongly here today. She comes into the stage second on the overall scoreboard with Rosalind Filion of Canada sitting in third place, but points still up for grabs, and with the final featuring Megan Benfito and Tonya Couch, the overall standings are still very much uncertain. Well, the home fans here in Monterrey will rest their hopes on Alejandra Estrella, who is competing in her first final of the series. She was very impressive in the morning session. She finished second in her semi-final behind Liu Huixia and ahead of Pendelella Rinong. In the other semi-final, it was the Canadians leading the way, with Benfito finishing ahead of Filion and Sarah Barrow claiming the final place in today's final. Well, having a look through the starting order here, we have Sarah Barrow starting us off with Rosalind Filion following. Then we have Benfito, Pendelella Rinong, Estrella and Liu from China, our 6th finalist here. Starting out with the arm stand, back double somersault, 1.5 twists, performed in the free position. It's Sarah Barrow from Great Britain.
62.43D.
Well, showing incredible strength from that starting position, kicking away well from the platform, having no problems executing the dive. The entry, we can see the splash being kicked up there with the legs just going long on the final rotation. But Sarah Barrow getting the arm stand dive out of the way in the opening round. The only diver to do so. We usually see it coming around rounds 3 and 4. Well, Rosalind Filion has had a fantastic series. She has indeed qualified for the Commonwealth Games coming up in Glasgow. She performed so well in front of the home fans in Windsor in Ontario, Canada last week. Here she attempts an inwards 2.5 pike position. And also a good start. We can see a little crow hop from the top of the platform, but has no problems completing the rotations. Well, has been competing at the Camo Diving Club as well as Megan Benfito in Montreal in Quebec. .67.2 for the opening dive of Rosalind Filion from Canada. Well, Megan Benfito won their first ever World Series gold last week in Windsor. Forward 3.5, pike position. Olympic bronze in the synchro contest with Filion. They finished 7th back in Beijing. Bronze coming in London. Wow, a brilliant start. Very confident, lovely approach, great takeoff. Just watching the pike position, very compact. Legs coming around to the correct position, trying to save the entry with the splash. Well, scoring well. Megan Benfito, 76.5. Pandela Renong from Malaysia with the same dive. Estrella and Liu will also attempt the forward 3.5. Wow, fantastic entry, ripping the water. We could see it just bubbling over. Again, very confident from the takeoff. The pike position perhaps not as compact as we saw from Benfito, but a wonderful entry, giving her a fantastic opening round score. Renong setting the bar very high, 79.50. We see 9s, 8.5s coming from the judges. Impressive opener for the Malaysian. Alejandra Estrella, it's our first opportunity to see her in the 2014 series. The crowd are certainly very happy to have a representative in the final here. The Mexican divers having done brilliantly throughout the series, with Sanchez and Paula Espinosa doing well on the women's side. The men being represented by German Sanchez and Ivan Garcia. And also a brilliant start for Alejandra Estrella. Won't score as high as Pandela Renong, but 72 points for Estrella, with Liu Huishia remaining attempting the same dive. The score to beat for the dive number 107 is a 79.5. Well, what a fantastic series. Liu has had 7 gold medals through her World Series career. We mentioned 3 alone coming this year, also a silver medal. 1 gold medal at the 2013 World Aquatic Championships with Chen Rulin in the synchro contest. And, well, we've talked about the entries from the Chinese divers. They just magically appear to glide into the water with hardly a splash. Here's a fantastic example of the ripped entry. The splash just being sucked under, that vacuum being created with the ripping, the tearing of the water. And that is a fantastic dive. The judges agree. We see 9s, 9.5s across the board. An incredible 82.50. Liu has raised the bar to close out our opening round. She sits on top with 82.5 points. In second position, Pandela Renong is followed closely by Megan Benfito, Alejandra Estrella, Sarah Barrow, and Rosalind Filion of Canada is also tied for that 5th position there with Sarah Barrow.
This is the second round of diving. De la Gran Bretaña, Sarah Barrow ejecuta 3.5 vueltas adentro, posición C, 407C.
Well, the inwards 3.5 somersault in the tuck position will be a common dive in this round here. We'll see Benfito and Estrella as well as Liu attempting the dive. Well, stretching out over the final phase of the dive, trying to get the legs nice and straight, breaking away from the tuck position. It was a little bit jerky, as we can just see those knees straightening out. Judges looking for that perfect, flawless technique, very smooth movements. And Barrow scoring 6s, 6.5s in round 2. A dive score 60.80. Rosalind Filion with back 3.5, tuck position. Oh, it looked a little bit rush as well over the final stage. We see the arms flung out, trying to get there in time to break the water. 7s, a dive score of 69.30. Megan Benfito, inwards 3.5 somersault. Oh, fantastic dive for Benfito. Great entry, got the legs up there. Good height from the takeoff. 1.5 rotations before level with the takeoff point. Scoring well, 81.6. Pandalela Rinong had a very good opening round. Here she attempts a back 2.5 in the pike position. Oh, brilliant. Again, breaking down the dive. It's quite technical with 2.5 rotations. The break from that pike position, very smooth. Arms coming forward. Elegant dive, nice to watch. 71.05. Well, both Estrella and Liu will finish with the inwards 3.5.
Ella realiza 3.5 vueltas adentro, posición C, 407C.
Well, a good dive for Estrella. Again, able to get the legs out in time. We see just a small jerky movement. A little crow hop again at the top of the platform before the compression. 7.5s. 72 points in round number 2 for Alejandra Estrella from Mexico. Liu Huixia had a fantastic opening round, scoring some 82.5. We'll see how she goes here with the inwards 3.5. Just a little bit of a splash being kicked up. Again, looking very smooth and confident from the takeoff. Brilliantly compacted. 8.5s, we see 78.40. It will hold her on top of the table. It's only a couple of points in it though at the moment. Liu Huixia sits with a total 160.90. Megan Benfido into second position with 158.10. Pandelella Rinong in third, 150.55. Alejandra Estrella, 144 points, with Rosalind Filion and Sarah Barrow closing out our 6 finalists at the end of round number 2.
This is the third round of diving. De la Gran Bretaña, Sarah Barrow ejecuta.
Well, we'll see a couple of divers using their arm stand dive, Pandelella and Liu, a little bit later on. The forward 3.5 will be performed by both Sarah Barrow and Rosalind Filion. Well, she had a little bit of trouble spotting her way out of the rotations. We could see the legs continuing around with the momentum, going way too long, causing that little secondary splash. 6s, 7s coming from the judges for Sarah Barrow in round number 3, 58.50. Well, the same dive number for Rosalind Filion from Canada. Well, it's a good effort for Filion. Coach Aaron Zeiser looking very happy on the side. Eights across the board, 72 points for Rosalind Filion in round 3. Benfito with a back 3.5 somersault, tuck position. Oh, nice to watch. She was incredibly quick through the rotations. That very fast-paced spinning action is what the judges are looking for. Very nicely compacted in the tuck position, breaking away from the tuck very smoothly, bringing the arms forward, the legs just getting to that correct angle in time, and she's rewarded well. We see 9s, 8.5s, 87.45 is a good third round score for Megan Benfito. Pandela Rinong, here's an arm stand back, double somersault, 1.5 twists, can be performed in the free position. judging beginning the moment the feet leave the platform here. Well, time to kick away from the platform very well. It was a good release. Got that angular momentum required for the somersault and the twisting phase, keeping the body nicely aligned. 8s from the judges, 76.80. Alejandra Estrella, reverse 2.5 somersault. Oh, well, she got a heap of height from the takeoff. It looked like she almost had a little bit of time to think over the final phase of the flight here. The legs continuing to go long with the rotation, just knocking her off that nice axis, the nice angle for the entry. 7.5s, 8s coming for from the judges. We see a 64.40 in round 3 for Estrella. It's going to leave her with a little bit of work as Liu Huixia attempts the arm stand back double somersault 1.5 twist. We saw Benfito attempting this earlier, scoring around 76 points for the dive number. Well, it's not a bad effort from Liu. We noticed the splash. The legs still coming around, just caught a little bit short on the final rotation. It will open things up though, and we will have perhaps a new leader here. Liu scoring 68.80 for the dive. It will hold her in the top 3, but not on top anymore. Megan Benfito leading the way, and a little bit of breathing room for the Canadian. She sits on top with 245.55. Liu 229.70, some 15 points away. Then we find Pendalela Rinong 227.35. Rosalind Filion 208.50, just ahead of Alejandra Estrella 208.40, and Sarah Barrow, our 6th finalist, with 186.50. As we head into the 4th of 5 rounds here, Sarah Barrow starting us out with a reverse 2.5 somersault tuck position. The top of the toes coming down very heavily. 8 coming for Sarah Barrow in round number 4. Her dive score 67.20. Rosalind Filion, arm stand back triple somersault. Benfito will also attempt this dive in just a moment. Oh, well, again, it was lovely to watch. Good release from the platform. Nicely positioned in the tuck. 8, a score of 79.2 for Filio. On the same dive, armstand back triple somersault now for Megan Benfito, our leader at the end of round number 3. She's in a fantastic form here. Well, it took her a moment to compose herself on the platform. She did well with the release. It was a pretty good angle, just not quite achieving that ripped entry. The splash resulting, we see 7.5. She'll score slightly lower than Filion, 74.25. We'll see if it's enough, though. She had a little bit of a lead ahead of Liu. We'll see how Penduela Rinon goes. Here's an inwards 3.5 somersault tuck position. Again, just having a little bit of difficulty spotting her way out of the rotations, that quick spinning action, just causing Penduela Rinon to go a little bit long, legs just rolling over, unable to save the dive through that rolling action under the water. 5.5s and 6s, 54.40 with just one round remaining. Penduela Rinon will need to improve dramatically. Here is Alejandra Estrella of Mexico, a back 3.5 somersault tuck position. Well, again, very rushed. The crowd like it. The judges like it. And we see 8s, 79.20. Estrella having a fantastic showing here. Just off the pace now. Still an opportunity to really challenge over the final round. A place on the podium is not out of reach for Alejandra Estrella. 0.10 is the difference between Filion and Estrella. We have Liu Xuxia remaining with back 3.5 somersault. She dropped a couple of places in the last round. She's usually one of the most consistent divers in the contest. We'll see how Liu responds. Well, that is a response indeed. She's so confident from the takeoff, just looking at the amount of height she achieves. It's a huge launch. 8s, a score of 79.20. It's going to help her somewhat, but it's not going to knock off Benfito from the top of the overall total rankings here. Benfito sitting on 319.80 as we go into the final round. Liu is holding on in second position, 308.90. Rosalind Filion and Alejandra Estrella, nothing in them at the moment. 287.7 for Filion, 287.6 for Estrella. Pandela Rinong just missing her last dive, dropping into fifth position, 281.75 with Sarah Barrow, 253.70. Well, a big round for Benfito and Liu here. They all will be attempting the same dive in this round. It's a back 2.5 somersault with 1.5 twists. Dive number 5253. Every diver will attempt this this dive in this round. So we'll see just how much better Benfito is than Liu. The same with Filion and Estrella. Well, it's a clean finish, a strong finish, in fact, for Sarah Barrow. Had 1 or 2 rounds from the 5 that held her back slightly, but she finishes her World Series in strong form. 8s from the judges, 76.80. Her total, 330.50 from 5 rounds of dives. Rosalind Filion has a chance to finish on the podium here. We'll need something special though. Well, she has saved something special for last. Another great finish for Rosalind Filion. Strong from the takeoff, nice and clean through the execution, keeping the alignment nice and straight. No splits at all in the form. The legs coming together. 8s, again, 76.80. Well, we know that Australia will need a 76.8, 76.9 even. Megan Benfito, our leader, coming into this final round. The same dive, back 2.5, 1.5 twists. A strong finish. The legs still coming around, but the splash won't cause too big a deductions. Nicely placed in front of the platform. 8s, 8.5s even, 78.40, scoring slightly higher than Rosalind Filion. Liu will need something exceptional to try and knock Benfito off now. She has reason to smile. It wasn't the perfect dive to finish on, but it should be enough for Megan Benfito. Pandela Rinong of Malaysia. Wow, finishing brilliantly, nailing the entry. A good recovery from the last round for Pandela Rinong, one of her highest scoring dives, 81.60. It takes her total to 363.35 from the 5 rounds. Alejandra Estrella looking to challenge for that final place on the podium. Back 2.5 somersault, 1.5 twist. averaging higher than 8.1. She is guaranteed her place on the podium. Well, no messing about here for Alejandra Estrella. She had the hopes of a nation resting on her shoulders. She has delivered in the final, given them exactly what they want. She's finished very strong indeed, 81.60. It will give her a place on the podium here. We'll wait and see how Liu finishes, but Estrella and Benfito finishing very strongly in the women's 10-meter platform. We haven't seen so much of Alejandra throughout the season. She's been competing in the Grand Prix series, did well in Madrid. Our final dive for the series for the women's 10-meter platform will come from Liu Huixia. She has been brilliant from start to finish, triple gold medalist. Oh, what a finish. What an entry. She'll need averages of 9.4s to claim the gold. She won't get that. We see 9s coming from the judges. Liu Huixia will finish with another silver medal after silver last week in Canada. But Megan Benfito has brought an end to the reign of the Chinese divers in the women's 10-meter platform. Benfito has picked up the gold. Liu Huixia has picked up the silver. And I think the round of applause here from the crowd will only mean one thing, and that is that Alejandra Estrella has taken bronze. There are the overall standings. It's official from our referee, Sergio Rocha. 398.20 for Benfito. Liu, 395.30. 369.20 for Estrella. Filion, 364.5. Pandalala Renon, 363.35. And Sarah Barrow, 330.50. What a fantastic conclusion for the women's 10-meter platform event throughout the series. Liu Huixia will claim the overall victory. Megan Benfito takes gold here in Monterrey. Well, we still have another event to get through before we wrap things up from Monterrey. It will be the men's 10-meter platform final. That's coming up in around about 15 minutes, so stay with us. More action to come from the FINA NBC Diving World Series in Monterrey, Mexico.
Tercer lugar y medalla de bronce para Alejandra Estrella de Monterrey, Nuevo
Well, we haven't seen much of her throughout the series. In fact, it was her first final here in Monterrey. Alejandra Estrella from Mexico, giving the home crowd exactly what they crave. A bronze medal here in Monterrey.
Muchas felicidades. Segundo lugar y medalla de plata para Huixia Liu de
Well, she is our overall champion of the series. She's taken 3 gold medals. Today, her second silver. And to add to that, a bronze in London. A medal from all 6 stages. An incredible 98 points from the 6 stages. Liu Huixia from China.
Y el primer lugar, medalla de oro para Megan Benfito de Canadá.
Well, she's had silver, she's had bronze. Today she gets a taste of the gold. Representing Canada, Megan Benfito.
Nuevamente a estas clavadistas, muchísimas felicidades. Ahora pedimos a todo el
And we
público que
will
nos
pause for a
acompaña,
moment
por favor,
for the
ponerse de
national
pie
anthem of
y
Canada.
escuchar respetuosamente el himno nacional de Canadá.
Well, she's had plenty of support throughout the series, and it's a fitting end for that. We congratulate all of our medalists and all of our athletes competing in this year's series.
De Ucrania, Alexander Bondar. Con el número 2, el segundo lugar, clavados sincronizados, plataforma en los Juegos Olímpicos de Londres 2012. De México, Iván García. Con el número 3, el segundo lugar en clavados sincronizados, plataforma en el Mundial de Barcelona 2013. De Rusia, Víctor Minibaev. Con el número 4, él es tercer lugar olímpico en la plataforma de 10 metros en Londres 2012. De la Gran Bretaña, Tom Daley. Con el número 5, él es campeón mundial en clavados sincronizados de 10 metros en Barcelona 2013. De Alemania, Sascha Klein. Y con el número 6, él es segundo lugar olímpico en la plataforma de 10 metros en Londres 2012. De China, Chiu Bo. Nuevamente a estos clavadistas vamos a desearles la mejor de las suertes y que gane el mejor.
Well, welcome back to Monterrey. We are just about set to get into our final event of this 2014 FINA NVC Diving World Series. It's the men's 10-metre individual platform final. And what a final we have set for you here today. Cuibo has been in fantastic form throughout the series. He did well during the qualifying semi-final here today. He won his semi-final with Sascha Klein of Germany taking out the second semi-final. Our overall leader from the series, Viktor Minibaev, he finished behind Klein, failing to reach 500 points. Tom Daley also had a pretty good showing here today. He finished second to Cuibo, more than 50 points off the pace. So if our qualifying session is anything to go by, well, Cuibo is in fantastic form here today. I mentioned our overall leader, Viktor Minibaev. He is one of the only divers, apart from Sascha Klein and Alexander Bondar, who has competed in all of the 5 stages leading up to our 6th and final stage here in Monterrey. Minibaev, he has had success only on one stage, and that was in Dubai when he picked up gold there. He picked up a bronze in Moscow at his home stage at the beginning of last month. Cuibo, he's only been in attendance on 3 previous stages leading up to Monterrey. He picked up silver medals on all 3 occasions in Beijing, Dubai, and also in Windsor. It's a bit of a race for that second overall spot. Minibaev sits on top with 62 points. Cuibo, Tom Daley, they both sit second with 48 points. And with Sascha Klein on 46, Alexander Bondar on 45. So things very much still open up on the overall rankings in the men's 10-metre platform event. We are just waiting for the okay from our head referee, Sergio Rocha, and then we'll get straight into the first of 6 rounds of dives here. We will conclude our broadcast a little bit later on with a couple of award ceremonies and conclude this overall 2014 World Series. What a series it has been. We have spanned the globe. We started out in Beijing. We moved on to Dubai. We've had our European stops this year in London and Moscow. For the very first time ever, we found ourselves in Canada. The first of what will be 4 years in beautiful Windsor at that state-of-the-art brand new training and aquatic facility in Ontario, Canada. That was a fantastic stage. And we move south once again to Monterrey, Mexico. We have been in Mexico before on a number of occasions. They love their diving in this part of the world. Their hopes will rest on Ivan Garcia. He has had some success. He's picked up gold medals in the synchronized contest in the 10-meter synchro event with Germán Sanchez. There's also been success on the women's side with Paula Espinosa doing quite well through the series. So we are just moments away. Our final event of this series will be the men's 10-meter platform final. We can see up on the far side of the pool there, up on the 10-meter platform, Alexander Bonda from Ukraine, 2013 European champion, ready to start us off. He'll be followed closely by Ivan Garcia. Then we'll see Russia's Viktor Minibayev, Tom Daly, Sasha Klein and Kuibov. That is our dive order for our 6 finalists, with 6 rounds to come. We are just about set. Alexandra Bonda with an inwards 3.5 somersault tuck position.
El representante de Ucrania from Ukraine, Alexander Bordar. Él ejecuta 3.5 vueltas hacia adentro, posición C, 407C.
Well, a resident of Luhansk, he speaks Russian and Ukrainian. Bonda getting us underway in the men's 10-meter platform final. He's being coached by Tamara Tokmashiva since the year 2000. .81.60, our opening dive score here in the final. Ivan Garcia, a man who needs no introduction to the home fans here, from Guadalajara in Mexico, coached by Ivan Bautista. 2012 London Games, he finished 7th in the individual, picked up silver in the synchro with Sanchez. He was a 2010 Youth Olympic bronze medalist in the 10-meter, a Pan American gold medalist back in 2011 in the individual and synchro contest. He has had some injuries. He's had an ankle injury back in March of 2013. He seems to be on the mend and doing very well in the 2014 series. The Mexican divers, they certainly take their time. We heard the whistle, the signal coming from our referee. Garcia and both Sanchez, they really take their full minute before they make any attempt. Well, taking a very long time to compose himself, but it could be worth it. We can see his coach there, Ivan Bautista, just making a reference towards the angle of his legs. It's one of the highest, it is the highest scoring dive of the day so far, 89.10, 9s across the board. A good entry and a good opening dive for Ivan Garcia. Viktor Minibayev, coached by Svetlana Moiseyeva of Russia since 1998. He's been on the scene for some time. 4th in the London Games. He narrowly missed out on a podium finish. He was 8th at the World Champs in Barcelona last year. Bronze at the European Champs at the same year. Silver in the synchro event. Viktor Minibayev of Russia, our overall leader in the series has started well with the inwards 3.5. We see 9s, 8.5s as well coming from the judges, 84.80. Well, a young man who perhaps needs no introduction to the sport, Tom Daley from Plymouth in England, Olympic bronze medalist from his home Olympics in London, a gold medalist at the 2009 World Championships in Rome. He was a 2012 Junior World Champion in Adelaide in Australia, two-time European champion. He will be competing at the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. It's going to be set for a fantastic event this year. Strong fields coming from all the Commonwealth nations, including Canada and Australia. Well, a fantastic start. The arm stand back triple somersault. Tom being coached now in London by Jane Figueiredo. Well, we see a 10 being cancelled out, but 9.5s remain. It's 99.75 for Tom Daley, who takes him straight to the top of the tally with Sasha Klein and Hui Bo remaining. Getting the arm stand dive out of the way in the opening round for Tom Daley. He chose quite a difficult dive. He is known for a very difficult routine. Quite often when we add up the total degree of difficulties from his 6 rounds, he's ahead of the other divers there. So he allows himself plenty of potential for those very high scores. Sasha Klein of Germany, inwards 3.5 somersault, tuck position. Well, not a bad effort from the European champion, 2010-2011 European champion. He's been a 6-time European champion with Patrick Housting in the synchro event. He's done very well throughout the series. He's had a huge schedule. He's been competing both in the synchro and the individual event. He scores 81.6 in the opening round. Hui Bo remains also attempting an inwards 3.5 somersault in the pike position. Well, the London Olympic silver medalist Hui Bo starts out brilliantly. It's been a big first round. We've seen some very high scoring dives. Again, we see 10s, 9.5s. We have a tie for the top spot between Tom Daley and Hui Bo, 99.75 in the opening round. Ivan Garcia is almost 10 points back in third position with 89.10. Victor Minibayev 84.80. Bonda 81.6 is tied for 5th with Sasha Klein. Oh, what a fantastic opening start, 99.75. Tom Daley with the arm stand back triple. Hui Bo with his inwards 3.5. Bonda to get us underway with dive number 109C. It is a very common dive in the second round here. It has a degree of difficulty 3.7. It's a forward 4.5 somersault performed in the tuck position. Another chance for big scores in round 2. Well, he was very confident from the approach. A big takeoff, gets plenty of distance away from the platform, very compact, spots his way out of the rotations well, legs still coming up into position, manages to keep the splash to a minimum. So much forward momentum. Nice angle for Bonda. He scores 88.80, 8s from the judges. Garcia will attempt the same dive now. We'll see how confident Ivan Garcia is from his starting position. Well, it's not a bad effort from Ivan Garcia of Mexico. Bonda scoring well, just under 90 points. Garcia scoring high at 98.05. We see nines coming. The entry causing a little bit of splash. He had a better angle though. Very quick rotations in the forward direction. 98.05. It's a good score for Garcia. Victor Minibayev continuing on with this 4.5 forward somersaults. Oh, brilliant. What a dive from Victor Minibayev. Coach Svetlana Musieva looking very happy on the sidelines here. A huge takeoff, very quick through the spins. We see nines again, 9.5s being cancelled out, 99.90. Victor Minibayev is in a fantastic form here. Tom Daly back 2.5 somersaults with 2.5 twists. Another very technical dive. The degree of difficulty up there at 3.6. Well, not a bad effort for the young Tom Daly. A good takeoff, no problems executing the dive, holding the alignment of the body nice and straight. No splits in the form, keeping the legs nice and tight together. A little bit of a splash being kicked up, but he's nice and square on for the entry, not off axis. Scoring just 88.20. Tom will still have his work cut out for him now with Sasha Klein attempting the same dive before Cuibo attempts the back triple somersault from the arm stand. Well, it's not easy, but Sasha Klein as well has nailed his entry. This is not a dive that has been around for so long, but already we're seeing divers almost mastering it. We see a score in excess of 100 points, 101.75. Sasha Klein, he didn't have the best opening round, but he has come into form here in the second round. Cuibo will finish off the round with an arm stand back, triple somersault, pike position. Also difficult with a level 3.5. Oh, very elegant. Wonderful release of that pike position. He's incredibly compact. Look how nice and straight his angle is as he enters the water. And what about this for a score? I find it very difficult to critique. I can't pick anything wrong with it, and neither can the judges. It's a perfect score. Perfect 10s coming for Cuibo in round number 2. 105 is the score. He will sit on top of the table and have a look at the lead here. Cuibo sits on top, 204.75. Some way back, almost 17 points, is Tom Daly in second position, 187.95. Garcia holding on in third, 187.15. Minibayev, 184.70, 183.35 for Sasha Klein. And Alexandra Bonda, 170.40. As you can see there is 4 people, 4 4 divers that are all within striking distance for that silver position there. There's only 4 points or so separating second from 5th position in our final. Alexandra Bonda with an arm stand back triple somersault. It will be hard to beat the score we just saw from Hui Bo, a perfect score. Well, also a brilliant entry for Bonda, just stretching out over the final phase, breaking from the rotations. 8.5s up to a 9, 91 points coming for Alexandra Bonda in round 3. Ivan Garcia attempting arm stand back double somersault with 2.5 twists. Degree of difficulty 3.6. He has handled these difficult dives extremely well throughout this series. Not afraid to take on a very technical routine. He does take his time in preparing for each dive though. Well, Garcia causing quite a bit of a splash here in the final. Executes the dive well, just leaves a little impression with the entry. Scores 8.5s from the judges. A dive score of 91.80 will hold Ivan Garcia in this contest for a little bit longer. Viktor Minibayev from Russia, reverse 3.5 tuck position. Well, a good dive for Minibayev. Strong takeoff. 1.5 rotations before level. Raking from the tuck position cleanly, getting the arms out in front. A good angle with the legs for the entry. 8s coming for Viktor Minibayev, a score of 81.6 in round 3. Well, Tom Daly sitting in position number 2 at the end of the last round. Here attempts an inwards 3.5 somersault in the tuck. Oh, brilliant. Spotting his way out of the rotations perfectly. It was a fantastic angle for Tom Daly. 10s, 9s from the judges. 92.80. What a high-scoring final we have here in Mexico. We saw a very high-scoring semi-final here this morning. Hui Bo in his final, scoring 2 dives in excess of 100 points, one at 99.75. His total was 571. We mentioned Tom Daley, he was 52.5 points behind Quibo from that semi-final, but we are seeing very high scoring finals here. Sasha Klein, arm stand back, triple somersault, pike position. Oh, well, that ever important kick really determines the speed of the rotations. This releasing kick from the platform there. And we see Sasha Klein just coming in a little bit short there, the legs still coming around, scoring 6s in round 3. His total 63 points for Sasha Klein. Well, Quibo remains. He'll attempt a reverse 3.5 tuck position. He's in fantastic form. Well, he is so incredibly confident, and he has reason to be. Quibo absolutely nailing that one. So strong from the takeoff. Wonderful position. And once again, we'll see a perfect score. 9.5, 10s going across, the 9.5 being cancelled out. 102 points coming for Quibo in round 3. At the halfway point, it is Quibo on top. Extending that lead even further. Quibo 306.75. Tom Daley 280.75. Ivan Garcia 278.95 in third position. Further afield, Victor Minibayev 266.30. Bonda 261.4, with Sasha Klein rounding out our 6 finalists at the halfway point, 246.35. Well, we've seen this happen on a couple of dives from Bonda. That little jerky movement over the final phase of the flight, trying to keep the legs nice and straight, just not quite as smooth, holding him back from a almost perfect score there. We see 8.5s, a score of 91.8. Ivan Garcia looking to finish on the podium here in Mexico. Looking very relaxed up on top. About to attempt a reverse 3.5 somersault in the tuck position. Well, the crowd like it. I think the judges will also like it. Just a little bit off angle for the entry. Fantastic takeoff again, very compact, quick spinning actions. 8.5s coming from the judges, a score of 86.7 for Ivan Garcia. Up next, Victor Minibayev arm stand back double somersault with 2.5 twists. Another technical dive here. 3.6 is the degree of difficulty. Fantastic effort. Victor Minibayev having no problem squaring out from the twisting action. Great alignment of the body. Again, nice and straight. No breaks in the form from the head all the way down to the toes. We see a 10. That's cancelled out. 9s are remaining on the scoreboard. 97.20. But Tom Daley attempting that famous 4.5 forward. The forward 4.5 somersault in the tuck position. We've seen 100 points being scored from this dive here today. Will Tom Daley manage to do something similar? Oh, it looks clean. Very smooth from the starting position. A good leap of faith from the takeoff. He has scored in excess of 100 points here. We see 9s and 9.5s from the judges. A dive score of 101.75 in the round for Tom Daley. Sasha Klein attempting a back 3.5 somersault. The toes coming down a little heavily, causing a little secondary splash there for Sasha Klein. A good attempt, a good dive in all. 9s, 8.5s, a 91.80. Well, this young man has been exceptional, incredibly consistent through the first half. He'll be looking to continue on that way. Here is a back 3.5 somersault, pike position. Well, straight down to business. Queer continues to nail dive after dive. Huge takeoff. Just shy of 100 points, 97.20. Takes his total to 403.95. We still have 2 rounds of dives remaining. We might just see a World Series record here coming from Queer if he can keep this up. Well, at the end of the 4th round, it is Quebo, 403.95. He still sits some way ahead of Tom Daley on 382.50. Garcia, 365.65. Minibayev, 363.5. Alexandra Bonda, 353.20. Sasha Klein, 338.15. That third space, third spot on the podium is very much up for grabs with Garcia and Minibayev. Less than 2 points separating third from fourth here as we enter into round number 5. Bonda back 2.5 somersaults, 2.5 twists. We're falling a little heavily there. We could see perhaps a little split in the form, the legs just coming apart slightly They come together in time for the entry. 8.5s come from the judges, 91.80 in the 5th round for Bonda. Well, the sound there can only mean one thing. It's Ivan Garcia. And more impressively, he'll attempt the forward 4.5 somersault. And more impressively, he'll attempt an inwards 4.5 somersault here. It is the most difficult dive you will see in this World Series. It has a degree of difficulty of 4.1. Just keeping in mind that forward 4.5 is from a running takeoff. This is a standing dive, beginning from the front of the platform without taking any steps or bounces prior. This is a difficult one. Inwards 4.5, tuck position for Ivan Garcia. Well, Ivan Garcia pushing the boundaries in this sport, attempting the inwards 4.5 somersault. We can see a few little things here with the entry. The positioning was brilliant in the air. He scores 7.5s from the judges. It was a huge risk, but what a part of the routine. We've only seen this dive attempted on a couple of occasions, once previously from Garcia. He still manages to score 92.4 in the round. That all coming from that huge degree of difficulty, over 4. Here's Viktor Minibayev with a back 3.5 pike position. Minibayev doing well in the 5th round. He had an awesome 4th round. Strong takeoff. The legs still coming around, just caught a little bit short on the final rotation. 9s coming from the judges, 8.5s even, a 95.40. Tom Daly with a back 3.5 somersault, pike position. Oh, well, brilliantly timed. I wasn't sure if the legs were going to come around. We could see the reaction coming from his coach there, Jane Figueiredo. Very, very happy. And why not? 10s for Tom Daly. The highest scoring dive of the day, 108 points. A perfect score for Tom Daly. Sasha Klein with the reverse 3.5 somersault tuck position. It's going to be hard to top that of Tom Daly. Sasha Klein leaving some hope in the final round. Strong takeoff, good entry. He scores well. 9's 91.80. He had just one bad round. That's made it very difficult for him to get back into this final. Well, someone who's been incredibly consistent is this young man here from China, Kui Bo. He'll attempt the forward 4.5 tuck position. The second most difficult dive being performed here today. He had around about 20 points lead coming into this 5th round. And he should be able to maintain something similar. Not the cleanest of entries for Kui Bo. Considering how difficult the dive was, it wasn't a bad attempt at all. He spots well, just tries to save the angle of the entry, rolling away under the water. 8s coming from the judges, 88.80. And while it does make things quite interesting now as we go into the final round, there is not much at all in it between first and second. We see Kui Bo on top with 492.75, but just about 2 points off the pace. Tom Daly, after a perfect scoring dive in round number 5, sits in second position, 490.50. Victor Minibayev in third, 458.90. Ivan Garcia very much there to challenge for a podium finish in the final round, has 457.90. Bonda 445 and Sasha Klein 429.95. Our 6th and final round. Plenty of big points up for grabs. We'll see both Garcia and Kui Bo attempting the forward 2.5 with a triple twist. It's a difficult dive at 3.8. Starting off though will be Alexandra Bonda, reverse 3.5 tuck position. A fantastic entry. Got the desired ripped, sucked the splash under. A very strong finish for the Ukrainian. Alexandra Bonda from Luhansk scores 91.8 in round 6. His total after 6 rounds, 536.80. Ivan Garcia, this will give him the chance for a podium finish. 2 points the difference coming into this round. Forward 2.5 somersault, triple twists. I mentioned both Ivan and Kui Bo will attempt this difficult dive in this round. Well, a very big moment now for Ivan Garcia, his final dive of this World Series. Looking to finish very strong in front of the home crowd. We see a bit of splash, but it was a well-executed dive. There was so much to it. The forward 2.5 rotations, triple twists, able to square out nice and straight in front, just a little off angle. 87.40 is the 6th round score for Garcia. It's going to be tough now. He looks disappointed. His total 545.30. We'll see how he goes with Minibayev, perhaps trying to hold him off the podium here. Minibayev with 2.5 somersaults with 2.5 twists. Oh, well, a very hard-hitting Minibayev finishing well in the final round. Again, just shy of 100 points in round 6. He scores 99 points. 557.90. Victor Minibayev might have just caused one of the biggest disappointments here, with Ivan Garcia finishing behind the Russian. I think Garcia's place on the podium has not been ensured here today. Tom Daley, what a strong finish we've seen from this guy. He has really closed the gap between himself and Quibo. Quibo leading by some 20 points leading into round 5. He has managed to pull that back to around about 2 points the difference now coming into this round. The final dive for Tom Daley, a reverse 3.5 somersault in the tuck position. Oh, brilliant stuff. His legs were still coming around. They were caught a little bit short for the entry, but he still manages to glide through the water. 8.5s coming from the judges, 86.70. The total for Tom Daley after 6 rounds, 577.20. Sasha Klein from Germany attempting a back 2.5 somersault with 2.5 twists to finish off his competition here in Monterey. He does well. Sasha Klein of Germany. He has been on the podium in this event. He's done extremely well throughout the series. He's had a hectic schedule. We mentioned that from the beginning. A number of these divers competing in multiple disciplines here. He scores 82.8 in the round. His total from 6 dives is 512.75. Well, Quibo has been in fantastic form, blistering form. He needs to score 84.45 in order to wrap up this contest. He'll need to average 7.5s to claim gold. It's a forward 2.5, triple twists, pike position. Wow, that was quick, very aggressive. A technical dive, just missing the entry there, but very well executed. Lovely form in the body, nice and straight. He has easily taken out the first place. He needed 7.5s. He's averaged 8s from the judges, 91.20. Quibo will reign supreme in the men's 10-meter platform final here in Monterey. Just waiting for confirmation from our officials. There is the 6th round score. Unfortunately for Ivan Garcia, it looks as if he's missed out on a podium finish in front of the home crowd. Here comes confirmation. Quibo, our winner, 583.95. Tom Daley, 577.20. 557.90 for Victor Minibayev in 3rd position. Ivan Garcia, 545.3. Alexandra Bonda, 536.8. And Sasha Klein, 512.75. Well, before we wrap up things here in Monterey, we will have a couple of award ceremonies for our men and women's 10-meter platform medalists. Stay with us. More to come.
Tercer lugar y medalla de bronce para Victor Minibayev de Rusia.
Well, he is our overall champion from the series. He's competed in every single stage. He picked up a gold medallion in Dubai. He picked up bronze in Moscow. Today he picks up another bronze to add to his overall total. Victor Minibayev of Russia. Silver for the young Tom Daley from Great Britain. He missed out on the Moscow stage He came into this contest in third position overall. He'll maintain that position with this silver. We'll check out the score, 577.20 for Tom Daly. Our champion here in Monterrey, Mexico, Huibo of China. Very impressive day here today. He had a very technical routine. 6 extremely high scoring dives after a brilliant semi-final in the morning session. A total 583.95 from 6 rounds. A fantastic effort here today. We will pause for a moment. The national anthem from the People's Republic of China. Well, what a fitting end to our 2014 FINA NVC Diving World Series. We must send out a very big thank you to all of our host member nations and the cities of Beijing, Dubai, Moscow, London, Windsor, and of course Monterrey, Mexico for hosting events this year. We look forward to an even bigger and better series in 2015. I hope to be back. Until then, we hope you have enjoyed our presentation. My name's Chris Field for IEC in Sports. Thanks for watching and bye for now.
Un gran agradecimiento a todo el público que nos acompañó estos 3 días de actividades. De verdad, son un gran público y esperamos verlos muy pronto. Muchas gracias.